I'm Ryan Green.
And I'm Zach Taylor.
And together we are Commander Social. And this week we're going to be bringing you our Core 2020 set review. So stay tuned. This is going to be a long one, but a fun one.
Yep.
And we're going to skip some of our normal segments because we got to really get to business. Speaking of business, we want to thank you out there in audience land. We couldn't do this without you. Week in, week out, you visit and you listen, and we really, really appreciate that. And if you're watching the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And hit that bell for notifications, right?
Yep.
So we actually have something really exciting to announce this week.
Do we?
Yeah, you want to hit them with it, Zach?
The Patreon is coming.
Boom! Patreon, we got there.
Yep.
All right, so it's going to happen. Hopefully with the launch of this video, you'll see it. And we're really excited to be able to bring you guys better content and more new stuff. And we're really excited to take this journey with you. So thank you so much. If you want to consider becoming a patron, go to patreon.com/commandersocial and check us out. We would really appreciate it. And also don't forget to tell a friend because, that kind of stuff matters too.
Yep, sure does.
All right. So you can find us on Twitter. Individually on Twitter, I'm at Green Geek.
Individually, I'm at Z4CK38. And together, we're at Commander Social.
All right. So that's going to bring us right on into that hashtag MTG Dad moment. This one's a good one. This one's a pretty funny one. Okay, so my daughter she's pretty funny, but this one is especially funny, I thought. So, and I witnessed it. It was great. So Veronica was like standing next to my wife, and she said, "Mom, your shirt's wet." And my wife was like, "No, it's not." And Veronica licked her shirt.
Oh.
And it cracked me up so much. It's like total like humor, like joke telling, like timing and sensibilities, and it was amazing. It was so funny.
I mean, she's gonna be telling dad jokes by the time she's 5.
Well, if I do my job, she will be. That's
right?
For sure. All right, and the next segment here is for my son Mal. It's just really cute. He's been really enjoying like spinning around a lot, and he'll like hold his hand up for you, and you can grab it and like spin him around, and then he like kind of keeps spinning, and he laughs and he giggles so much, and he gets really dizzy, and he often falls over. And it's just super cute, like he sees Veronica dancing and he's emulating it, and I don't know, it's just precious.
I feel like maybe he wants to be into ballroom dancing.
Yeah, you know what? That's great. Like I would, I'd take a course with him.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
I've definitely done some ballroom dancing in my day.
Me too.
A little rumba here.
I mean,
a little waltz there,
Yeah. I like to get in the ball pit and do some dancing. That's ballroom dancing, right?
Yes,
it's a room full of balls.
The room is the pit. Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, I was making sure.
Yeah, Lord of the Pit's definitely Lord of the Ball Pit. Like he's like coming out of the like the balls are going everywhere
I definitely,
at the McDonald's playland.
I'm definitely gonna take that foil Lord of the Pit that I got the other day and like get some paint pens and like draw little like balls around him. And
totally.
I'm totally gonna put it in my mono black deck.
So, Zach, what's been going on in your life, man?
Not too much, just the usual stuff. I've continued to grow. So, I am dedicating this as my hashtag Dana Roach moment.
Oh, all right.
So, this is all about Dana. First off, Dana is still growing, and it's still amazing.
Glorious.
For those in audio land, it's my mustache. I've had to shave twice now to keep my other facial hair at bay, and this is the end of week 2, I think, or maybe it's in a week. Well, I don't know. Time is a construct.
Yeah, well, it's definitely like a Tom Selleck like motif you got going on over there.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna grow it as long as I can. Once it starts like getting into my mouth, I'll have to like do some trimming, but I'll figure it out. I think this is gonna stay until we go to Vegas.
All right, sweet.
Maybe just forever.
Hey, I'm in. I'm down. All right.
So. Oh, I have one more thing.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That involves Dana, and actually Nick G3 from MTG Lexicon. Was it Royal Glaver?
Mm-hmm.
Dana's also at Dana Roach on Twitter, and his he has other people with him. He has Max and Chris on his podcast too on Commander Central.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that podcast.
Yeah, it's
Listen
great.
all the time.
Have you listened to EDH cast much?
I have not.
You should.
Is it good?
I don't know. I just think we should listen to it.
Well, I mean, yeah, probably.
So anyway, Dana a while back told me, I found out that Dana and also Nick share this affinity for pins, right? I've talked about pins before. You put them on your bag, and but the problem is they just come off sometimes, and you lose them. And sometimes these pins are kind of expensive, and it's like, I don't want to lose my expensive pins or my special CMDR Central pin. And Dana told me about these like special little backs that like lock on, and I got some. They were real cheap, and like I literally like put a pin on some of one of these and tried to get it off, and I couldn't. So I got those on Amazon.
so like literally like it's just now it's stuck permanently to like whatever you put it on.
No, I can definitely like. So it's a 2-piece thing. You can pull on the back a little bit, and what that does is, what I think is it's a piece of rubber with a that when you pull back, it like loosens it some, and then the pin part comes out, and then but when it's on, the rubber's like real tight on it. I think I don't really know. It's an engineering thing. So maybe
pin backs. How do they work?
Right, much like magnets, I assume.
All right, so it's not an episode of Commander Social if we don't thank one Mr. Mike Condon. You are our silent partner. You provide us with advice. You do the music and the editing, and we appreciate you so very much.
Very much. So much that we love you, dude.
All right. Okay, so it's mail day here at the Commander Social Podcast.
Oh, snap.
We got something here from one Mr. Joseph Hoffman.
Listeners, it's a brown envelope.
Yeah, and Joe sent this to us here. He is at GingerJoseph17 on Twitter, if you want to check him out.
Yep.
So we're going to open this here on air. Cool, there's a little tab, so that's going to be easy. Didn't quite go all the way.
Yeah.
Let's see where we get.
Yeah, Joe's a pretty cool dude. Like, we actually talk in DMs on Twitter and, like, talked about a bunch of different things, and I enjoy talking to him. He seems like a really cool guy. He's gonna be in Vegas, I believe, too. So.
Oh, excellent! So we're gonna get a game in. Awesome.
I mean, a game, a bunch of games, all the games.
All the games.
So let's see what we get.
What is it? Got here?
What is it?
All right. Well, okay. So first up, we've got a counterspell
from Ice Age
and a promo time wipe.
Yes,
pretty
very
sweet.
Nice.
Oh my goodness! Look at this. We've got Mana Vault.
Yep.
And Little T.
Yep.
Teferi Time Raveler. So, yeah, this is a really, really nice gift. Thank you so much.
Thanks. These are just going straight into one of my decks. That's not true.
Yeah, it's not true.
It's not
Actually,
true.
We're going to give it out to you in audience land, right?
Yep.
I worked with Joe on this, and we decided, he really likes the show, and he wanted to give back a little bit. And so he sent us these cards, and I said, yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Well, actually, I said, please don't. And then he was like, no, I must. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, we're going to give it away to a listener or a viewer out there. So make sure to follow us on Twitter.
Yep.
Again, it's at Commander Social. And, in the next coming weeks, like when this airs, we're going to have a contest for you to enter to win those cards. So stay tuned.
You could be the owner of those cards. So that brings us to the main topic. Am I right?
The main topic.
So
for 2020 set review.
Yep. So something to note, the cards that we were reviewing are in the context of Commander, right? Are these cards going to be good in Standard? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Are these cards going to be good in Modern? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Are these cards going to be good in Vintage? Probably not.
Are they going to be in Commander? You're going to find out right here.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to jump right on into our very first card. It is a white card, and it is Angel of Vitality. And here on my trusty phone, I will pull up a photo to read it to you.
Angel of Vitality is 2 and a white for a creature angel, 2/2 with flying. If you would gain life, you gain that much life +1 instead. Angel of Vitality gets +2/+2 as long as you have 25 life or more.
All right, so this card is pretty sweet in Commander. I mean, it's a 3-mana 4/4 flyer.
Yep.
Right? Because you're probably going to be above 25 life, especially in the early game. And we all know how good effects like Hardened Scales are, right? Like whenever you get to do one thing, like add one to it. So if you have lots of incremental ways to gain 1 life, like just getting to add 1 life to it is really good.
Yep.
Is this card going to be like gangbusters? I don't know, but I do think it's probably Commander playable. And I think there's a lot of life gain decks out there that probably want something like this.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, I literally bought a Hardened Scales before we recorded this. So like, I can definitely see that going good with it. I can see this in my Eiley deck as well.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yep. So what do we got next?
All right, up next is Cavalier of Dawn. It is 2 white for a 4/6 Elemental Knight, creature with Vigilance. When Cavalier of Dawn enters the battlefield, destroy up to one target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 colorless Golem artifact creature token. When Cavalier of Dawn dies, return target artifact or enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand.
Precious.
So what do you think about Cavalier of Dawn?
It seems really cool. Like the three white pips make it a little hard to splash, but if you're doing some sort of like mono white deck, I think it's definitely good. I like that it's got some removal, and what is this?
Yeah, return target artifact or enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand.
Yeah, that's dope. I like that.
Yeah, I mean the stats are pretty good. 5 mana for a 4/6 Vigilance is good. Getting to destroy a problematic permanent, right, especially an enchantment, is a good deal. And getting to recur your own when this creature dies is great. I think, we're going to see there's a whole entire cycle of Cavaliers here, and we're going to talk about them all. But I think this one is one of the stronger ones.
I just don't understand why it's like, why they named a cycle of cards after fish eggs. Like, I just don't get it.
Oh, yeah. I love me some, like, some Cavalier, like, on, like, a little cracker or something.
A little water cracker.
Yeah. And we're not talking about caviar at all.
Oh, really? Like, I thought this was like the little can with a little and the
Caviar at Dawn. It's a romantic moment.
Yeah.
All right. So what's next?
I don't know. What is the next card?
It's Loxodon Life Chanter.
Oh, okay. Loxodon Life Chanter is 5 and a white for a creature elephant cleric. Elephant tribal. 4/6. When Loxodon Life Chanter enters the battlefield, you may have your life total become the total toughness of the creatures you control. And then it has a second ability that says 5 and a white. Loxodon Life Chanter gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is your life total. Yeah, this is pretty dope. Like 6 for a 4/6. I don't hate that. When it enters the play, you're probably gaining some life. I think this is, in a white, like, soldier token deck.
Or, like a go wide kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Creature pump thing. Or, if you got like a Sarah Avatar in play, that'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I do like this. And
also, note, it's a May, right? So if you have more life than the total toughness of your creatures, you don't have to do it.
Right.
So, like, if it's somehow it's late game and you've got this and your life total is like at 60, just don't do it.
Yeah, and, like, I think what's cool is if you have some sort of, like, I think I'm going to use this term properly, sort of anthem effect. Like, worship is not worship. It's actually angelic anthem, right?
You are thinking of
it's a white card. Gives everything +1+. All the white creatures +1/+1.
Yeah. That's Crusade. Our next card is Saphara, Sky's Blade. This is 4 white for a 7/7 legendary creature angel. So Saphara can be your commander if you'd like. You may pay a single white mana and tap 4 untapped creatures you control with flying, rather than pay this spell's mana cost. So that's pretty cool. Flying and lifelink. Other creatures you control with flying have indestructible.
I mean, this card's going straight into Bird Tribal.
Bird Tribal. So Saphara is pretty cool. I think her ability to pay the white will get you around commander tax.
Yeah.
But having 4 creatures with flying in play is pretty tough. I like that.
Not if you're playing a bunch of
birds and angels.
1 or 2 CMC 1/1 flyers.
Indeed. And if you're doing Bird Tribal, that's exactly what you're doing. But like 7 mana commander is a lot. I think what's really cool here is the flavor win, right? If you just want to have an angel tribal deck, I think this is a really great commander for that. And there's tons of legendary angels over Magic's past. I'm only going to say like 1 or 2 of them here so as to not make your editing job so much harder later. But you got like Radiant Archangel and
Sarah Angel.
Well, that's not a legendary, but sure.
Oh.
I don't know. There's a ton. And I think Gabriel Angelfire. There you go. That's one that's white and green.
Is that a real one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But anyway, so I think Saphara is pretty cool. What do you think?
I like it. I do. I think it's sweet. So next up we got Starfield Mystic. Is this a reprint? Like, it looks like some Theros type art.
It does look like some Theros art. I don't believe it's a reprint, but we could be wrong. Audience out there, check us on this. Let us know. But I don't think it's a reprint.
It is not. I checked it.
All right. You're our audience now.
Got there. Yes. Not only am I a co-host on this podcast, I'm also a viewer.
I'm also a member
Right?
of the audience.
Exactly. So,
It's a member.
Starfield Mystic, 1 and a white for a 2/2. Okay. Enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. What? Whenever an enchantment you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Starfield Mystic. I like that.
I think this card's cool. I think Enchantress decks in general in EDH are cool. And I think the cost reduction is really sweet on this card.
Agreed.
I think that's the reason it makes it in this list. Yeah,
sure.
It can get big if a bunch of your stuff is getting killed or dying or you're sacrificing it, you know.
Yeah.
But I think this card, just for the cost reduction alone, makes it playable in those Enchantress decks. Is like one of the things that happens is you're drawing all these cards with those Enchantresses in play, and you're like, oh man, like all these things cost so much, and this will just let you play more enchantments, draw more cards, play more enchantments. Like it's a loop, and I think it's a good loop.
Would you call it a combo loop?
No,
Okay.
I'd call it a fruit loop.
Yeah. I do like Fruit Loops. Yeah, I think this card's sweet. I definitely will be wanting to pick up some of those.
So that's it for our white cards. We're going to move on into our blue cards. And the first one up is Agent of Treachery, which is 5 blue for a 2/3 human rogue. When Agent of Treachery enters the battlefield, gain control of target permanent. Like me that. Like me gaining some control of target permanent. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 3 or more permanents you don't own, draw 3 cards. So, honestly, you would pay 7 for this effect, right? Because the control doesn't end, right? Like if they kill this, you still control the thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's target permanent, right? You can get a planeswalker, you can get an artifact, you can get an enchantment, whatever you want. And, you know, maybe if you make like a I'm going to take all of your cards, like a steel dot deck or steel tribal, like take your stuff tribal. This could be pretty sweet in there. But honestly, I just really like this card. And it enters the battlefield. Yeah. Right? I really like the idea of blinking this. Like, I'm that guy. Like, I just want to, like, take all the cards.
Yeah, I think this card's sweet. Let's see. What's our next card?
It's another legendary creature. Atemsis. Wow, that's a hard word to say.
Atemsis. What you call it? All-seeing. The all-seeing Sphinx. So this is a legendary creature. So it can be your commander. It's 3 blue for a legendary creature Sphinx. It's a 4/5. Has flying. Bird. You know, and it has an ability that says 2 and a blue. Tap, draw 2 cards, and then discard a card. Whenever
all seeing.
Yep. Deals damage to an opponent, you may reveal your hand if cards with at least 6 different converted mana costs are revealed this way, that player loses the game. I mean, I'm going to windmill slam this into every blue deck I'm playing because I like alternate win conditions.
Because Reliquary Tower
is a thing.
Right? Or like, I don't know, Thought Vessel?
Yep.
Like, this card seems awesome.
What about Praetor's Grasp?
That doesn't, you think Praetor's Council?
Is that the one where it like exiles itself and then it, you have no hand size for its turn?
Praetor's Council is the green one that does that. Praetor's Grasp is the black one, which lets you look through their library and take a card.
Oh, yeah.
I like both of them.
I was talking about the green one.
Ah, indeed. Okay. So, I don't know. Atemsis All-Seeing is pretty sweet. Actually, the 2 and a blue tap is, it's card advantage and filtering at the same time, which is really strong. I wish this had vigilance so you could like do that and attack at the same time.
Let's not get greedy.
you know we like to get a little greedy here on Commander Social.
Yeah. Value Town is Mayor Greed.
That's right. So I don't know. I think this card's cool. Maybe helming a Sphinx Tribal for flavor. 6 mana is a little bit pricey, but I think this card's good.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I can see myself playing this.
I could too. So the next card we're talking about is Caviar of Gales. Caviar of Gales costs 2 blue. For those of you at home, that's 5. For a creature elemental knight, it's a 5/5. Oh, 5 CMC, 5/5 creature. As Ryan would say, 5/5. Square,
yeah, absolutely.
That's what people call Ryan behind his back. No, that's not true. I don't think you're a square, buddy.
Hey, it's okay. I'll take it.
So
better than being a rectangle,
right? Or a triangle. Cavalier
of Gales
Cavalier of
has
Gales.
flying.
Yeah, it has flying, so it's a bird, obviously. When Cavalier of Gales enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your deck in any order.
So brainstorm it up.
Yeah.
Brainstorming it up.
Brainstorm on a 5/5 flyer. And then when Caviar of Gales dies, shuffle into its owner's library and then scry 2. That card seems pretty sweet as well. Like the three root flips make it kind of hard, but I like brainstorm on a body because Ryan's told me that cantrips aren't great in Modern, even though I'm sorry, Commander, even though I've seen him play some, but actually, but like for real, any creature that has some sort of ability like this coming out of the field, and I think is cool. You know, I'm not 100% sure like what I would put this in, but I think it's a neat card.
Bird tribal.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
So the Cavalier of Gales, the interesting bit is brainstorm effects are much better when you have shuffle effects, right? So that you can put 2 cards you don't want to draw and then shuffle your library. That's kind of the idea. You draw 3 fresh ones, put the 2 back that you don't need, you know, non-lands if you're screwed, or lands if you're flooded. And this kind of has like the ability to shuffle on a dies trigger. So if you have a sack outlet, you can do that trick, right? You can brainstorm and then sacrifice this, although you don't really often want to sacrifice a 5/5 flying. But, you know, you get that value, and then you get to scry 2. So if you're really digging for something and you have a sack outlet, this card can do some work.
For sure.
Right? You can like look at the top 3, get rid of 2 you don't want, shuffle stuff away, scry 2, and maybe you find what you're looking for. I don't know. I think it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
All right, so up next, we've got Flood of Tears. This is 4 blue for a sorcery. Return all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. If you return 4 or more non-land token permanents you control this way, you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. So it's kind of like a fixed Cyclonic Rift. Number one, it's a mana cheaper. It's sorcery speed. It returns all your stuff, which is kind of a bummer. But, you know, if you had some stuff, you get to relay something. And the cool part is, if the thing you relay is Omniscience, you know, this will do a pretty good Cyclonic Rift impression. And even if it's, I mean, honestly, if you have Omniscience in play, you probably don't need to cast this. You're probably just already winning. But I don't know. I think it's cool. Like, you've got like a big giant Eldrazi or something. Yeah. And this is just the kind of card that blue needs more of. And
absolutely,
you know, this kind of effect I think is, you know, even if it's not as good as Cyclonic Rift, but like honestly, what could be, because Cyclonic Rift is so good.
It's the best.
I think this card is good. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it goes along the lines of, you know, cards like Cyclonic Rift, River's Rebuke, Aether Spouts. There's probably some other ones I can't think of, but like, yeah, I'm never gonna turn down a card that has an effect like that.
Wait a minute, when did Spider-Man get here?
Spider-Man's been here the whole time.
Just not noticed that.
Spider-Man's been here the whole time, man. Man, you caught me. I was literally going to remove him without telling you, and then like when we proofed the video, you see it then. But you caught me. You caught me. Okay, Spider-Man
catches thieves just like flies. Watch out. There goes the Spider-Man.
Does whatever spider can.
All right, up next we've got Masterful Replication. This is 5 and a blue for an instant. Choose one. Create 2 3/3 colorless Golem artifact creature tokens, or choose target artifact you control. Each other artifact you control becomes a copy of that artifact until end of turns. ZT, you are our Artifice Master.
Yes.
Talk about this card.
This card is dope. Like, for 6, I'm probably not going to create 2 3/3 colorless Golem tokens just because.
Agreed.
Because, like, you know what happens. But choose to an artifact you control. Each of them becomes a copy of that artifact. Like, I don't know. Blightsteel Colossus, Wormcoil Engine, things like that. Just crazy big creatures you could do. Or, you know, something like Panharmonicon, and then you play something that has a enter the battlefield effect, and then it gets done a bunch.
Yeah, so the deal is you do some crazy stuff with this, especially with like the uncommon Saheeli from War of the Spark, where you're making like all those little servo tokens. Like this itself is going to make a servo token when you cast it. I don't know. I think goodness abounds here.
Yeah, definitely so. I definitely am looking to jam that into a card or into a deck. So next we have Mu Yangling, Skydancer. I say that right?
Absolutely.
Sure. 1 in 2 blue for a legendary planeswalker Yangling. She comes in with 2 loyalty. It's a little low, but that's okay. +2 until your next turn, up to 1 target creature gets -2/-0 and loses flying. Bird Tribe will make it sad by this card. -3, create a 4/4 blue elemental bird creature token with flying. Well, I guess it does.
She actually makes birds.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess she does go into Bird Tribal. A bird's worst enemy is a bird's best friend. Also, isn't that like in one of those philosophy books that we read in college?
Yes, sure.
And the final
the bird of my bird is my bird.
Her minus 8 is you get an emblem with islands you control have tap, draw a card. Are you kidding me?
Oh my goodness, I want that so much.
I know.
I just want to tap on my islands to draw cards.
Right?
That's so wrong.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that is because I was looking at it and it says, $12.99 for the pre-order price. I was like, that seems high. And then I was like, emblem islands you control. What? Also, did you know that when this emblem comes into play, it goes to the command zone?
I did know that.
And did you also know that it is just an emblem?
Yes, it has no name.
Right. So,
all right. So up next, we've got Portal of Sanctuary. This is 2 and a blue for an artifact. It's an uncommon. 1 in tap, return target creature you control and each aura attached to it to their owner's hand. Activate this ability only during your turn. Okay, so this one's an uncommon, but I think it's powerful enough to see some play in EDH.
Yeah.
I love, reusing comes into play abilities or enters the battlefield abilities.
Yeah.
And this card lets you do that. Yeah, it's at sorcery speed, so you can't save it from removal or wraths. So it's a bit of a downside. I mean, obviously, Crystal Shard is better, but there's so many decks I've made in the past where I want multiple, copies of this kind of ability.
Yeah.
And it saves the auras, which is kind of new and intriguing. You can do some fun stuff with that. I don't know. I just thought it deserved a mention.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I'm actually pretty excited about this card. I'm working on, a Enchantress deck. And, I was talking to Max about it. And he mentioned there were some cards he's wanting to slot into that deck. And I'm willing to bet this is one of them.
Absolutely. All right. So what do we got next?
Next is
Tammyo's Sadness.
Yep. Tail's End. Sorry, Tammy. No more tails to collect. Tail's End is 1 in a blue for an instant. Counter target activated ability, triggered ability, or a legendary spell. Get in every blue deck I own, right? Like, for a while, activated abilities. I don't think there's ever been a triggered abilities counter spell, has there?
Yeah, there definitely has.
Okay, which one's Stifle's activated, right?
I'm not sure. I know Disallow will get both of them. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But counters for activated abilities and triggered abilities are they're pretty few and far between.
And they're a little niche. You don't really want to play them by themselves because, like, sometimes there's not a really great target for them.
Yeah.
Like, a Nevergnarl's Disc or an Oblivion Stone or something like that. That's really cool. But this got some added utility.
Yeah, with that legendary spell. Like, I think this is great for Commander. Like, I'm going to cast my crazy Commander. I'm going to cast my Elish Norn. I'm going to be like, no.
Right. And the thing I love about this is it's 2 mana and it's single dipped, right? There's only 1 blue pip in it. So I don't know. This has a lot of utility. I think can see it's making a way into a bunch of my decks.
Yeah, like, I'm definitely going to buy, like if there are none of these on TCG Player, it's because Commander Social did a buyout.
Right. All right. So that's going to move us on into our black cards. First up is Cavalier of Night. This is 2 black for a 4/5 lifelink elemental knight. When Caviar, you got me. When Caviar of Night enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, destroy target creature an opponent controls. Cool.
I like that, especially in like a token strategy sort of black deck.
Yeah, and then when Cavalier of Night dies, return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So this card kind of can sacrifice for value, get something out of the way, and then if it dies, or if somebody wraths, you get the first on board thing after that, and 3 or less, that's kind of the magical number. We've got Sun Titan, Sun ET does kind of that same thing, although that can get lands and stuff, not just creatures.
Get you a Henny.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love me some Henny. I hadn't seen this card for some reason, but I definitely put it in my Yogg Dog deck.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it goes great in there with the sacrifice fodder. And
Yeah.
and like, I don't know. I think all the Cavaliers are pretty cool. And I think this one's cool. And
I just
Lifelink's
love
good
Caviar.
too.
Just love it.
All right. So what do we got next?
We have Rotting Regiasaur. I think it's a dead dinosaur zombie. Oh, it is a creature zombie dinosaur for 2 and a black. Hey, that's 3 CMC. Oh. So you get 7/6, which, whoa. And at the beginning of your upkeep, discard a card. So that seems awesome. And what if you can't discard a card? You just don't, right?
Yeah. It doesn't say like if you don't sacrifice this creature or anything.
Yeah. So in some sort of like, I don't know, Golgari, like ramping, dropping your hand on the table sort of thing, like, maybe you don't play it on turn 3, but maybe play it on like turn 4 or 5, and you just have a 7/6 beater out there.
Well, and here's the deal. All right, this is a zombie, right? Like it is also a dinosaur, which is awesome, and it's like a zombie dinosaur, which is like totally cool.
Yeah, it's like triple cool.
But like zombies like going to the graveyard.
They
like
do.
that discarding a card could in some cases be a benefit.
Yeah.
Right? And a 3-mana 7/6 is huge. That is gigantic.
Right.
Like this can come down like super early, like on turn 1 with like a swamp and a mana crypt or something. Like this is huge. This card is so big.
It is.
Like that, this card is real, but you can do stuff with those discarded cards.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I mean, it's real in that like, I'm going to put this in my Hogak deck because I love Dredge. Like I've wanted to make a Dredge deck for so long, and I think this fits right into it.
Up next, we've got Scheming Symmetry. It's a single black mana for a sorcery. Choose 2 target players. Each of those searches their library for a card, then shuffles their library and puts that card on top of it. This card is interesting. It's a sorcery that does this, so it's going to remind you of Vampiric Tutor, but it's not an instant. So unless you have some other card draw or like Sensei's Divining Top in play, you're not going to get access to that card right away. And if other players have ways to, mill you or make you shuffle your library, you're not going to get that card. But what I like about this card is that it's 2 target players. And I know like that would be a downside in a lot of, like standard or modern or whatever. I think in Commander it can be an upside.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the political machinations that this card could bring about seem pretty awesome to me. Because it'd be like, look, dude, I know you got, like, look, Big John, I know you've got like 50 creatures over there, right? I need to get something. I'll let you get something if you make sure those creatures go Ryan's direction, which they probably already were anyway.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah, but still, like, I do think like being able to make deals with that, like, I think that's a cool thing.
Well, and the other bit is like if there's somebody that's just kind of like the arch enemy at the table, this can be like, okay,
yeah,
I'll get something that'll help us next turn. You go get something that'll help us right now, player to my left.
Yeah,
and like let's take down that arch enemy player. And I think for a single mana, that there's some use here. I definitely want to put this in a couple of my decks.
Yeah, I definitely want to try it and see. So the next card is a Planeswalker. It's one of my favorites. Soren, Imperious Bloodlord. Imperious.
It sounds like a Harry Potter spell.
I mean, I think it just means he's Imperial.
All right, I'd have to look it up. I'm not sure, but
like the Empire. Anyway, Soren, Imperious Bloodlord is 2 and a black for a legendary Planeswalker. Soren comes in with 4 loyalty. 4. So his +1 ability is target creature you control gains Death Touch and Lifelink until the end of turn. If it's a vampire, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Get into Edgar Markov. Its second +1 ability is you may sacrifice a vampire. When you do, Soren Imperious Bloodlord deals 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life. Man, you know what that sounds good for?
What's that?
Kicking off the Blood Bond combo.
Oh, gross. Oh, gross.
And the -3, which you can do immediately when you play this guy.
And leaves behind 1 loyalty.
Yeah, doesn't kill him. You may put a vampire creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. That is awesome.
Absolutely. I think this card is so cool. I just think that it's like really neat that there's like a Planeswalker built for a tribal deck.
Yeah.
and that, it's Soren, obviously that makes tons of sense.
Mhm.
I just think it's so cool. And like all the abilities synergize with having vampires. So it's really like, it's not a general purpose Planeswalker. It's literally like a vampire tribal Planeswalker. And I think that's so cool. I'd love to see more cards like this.
Yeah, same. Like, I don't know, tribal anything is, I just love. And I think this is just super cool.
All right, so up next we've got Villas, Broker of Blood. What you talking about, Villas? This is 5 black for an 8/8 legendary creature demon with flying. For a black mana and paying 2 life, target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Wow, that's pretty hefty. A mana and 2 life, just give -1/-1. Yep. That's a lot. Oh, whenever you lose life, draw that many cards.
I mean, this isn't a damn whisper, but dang, this is good. Like, I don't know. He could be your commander. 8 seems like a lot. Like, you get this guy down once, someone, path exiles him, and you get sad because you can't cast him again. But I don't know. Like, it just seems whenever you lose life, draw that many cards. Like, come at me, bros. Come at me. I want to draw some cards.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you put this in play, people would be like, now I'm not so sure I want to attack you because you're going to draw a bunch of cards. So unless they have creature removal, maybe they stay back for a bit. And the thing I like about this is I think it's a really cool reanimation target.
For sure.
Right? So you don't have to pay that hefty 8 mana cost. I think this card's cool. It's doing something neat. And like, whenever you lose life, I think you can do like Necropotence and like lose a lot of life. And then like get a bunch of cards.
Oh, geez, I didn't think about that.
Maybe it doesn't combo so well with Necropotence. I'm not sure, but like imagine this with Phyrexian Arena, right? Like, you lose that life and you get to draw another card from it. Like, I don't know. It just seems really cool. Like, this is the kind of thing that you want out of an 8 mana demon.
Yeah, for sure. So next up, we have Cavalier of Flame, the next card in the Cavalier cycle.
Yep, absolutely.
2 red for creature elemental knight. It's a 6/5 for 1 in a red. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. Note that this is a colon, so you can do this a bunch of times in a row.
Yeah, and you can do it the turn Caviar of Flame comes into the battlefield.
Absolutely.
And it says all creatures, so this can have haste too.
For sure. When Caviar of Flame enters the battlefield, discard any number of cards, then draw that many cards. That seems pretty sweet.
I like that ability a lot.
Yeah, I like getting rid of dead cards and getting new cards into my hand.
Or pitching cards with flashback.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Or madness.
Yep, that's a good one too. The third ability is when Caviar of Flame dies, it deals X damage to each opponent and each planeswalker they control, where X is the number of land cards in your graveyard. What? I mean, I don't know. Could I put this in a Windgrace deck? Is 3 red pips?
So here's the thing about Lord Windgrace decks, right? They have a lot of mana fixing.
It's true.
And that ability is really strong. And the cool part is, like, you play this late game and you've got those extra lands, you ditch them. And then when the Cavalier of Flame dies, it's each, right? It's X damage to each opponent and each planeswalker. That's huge.
Yeah.
Right? And like,
is.
You could play with like fetch lands all day, even like Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse, right? Like, even in a mono red deck, I could see this being really good.
Yeah, like, definitely there are off-color fetches that you could play to get there.
All right, so our next card is Chandra, Acolyte of Flame. This is the rare one. And we know this set is focused around Chandra, so this is pretty cool. It's 1 red for a 4 loyalty legendary planeswalker Chandra. 0. Put a loyalty counter on each red planeswalker you control. That includes her, right? So it's really a +1. 0. Create 2 1/1 red elemental creature tokens. They gain haste. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step. -2. You may cast target instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard. If that card would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. So there's a lot going on, and there's a lot to unpack on this thing. What I'm really excited about is just mono red super friends.
Yeah.
Like, with just a whole bunch of Chandras and Jayas and Koths and
Tybalts,
Sarkons and Tybalts and oh my, running around and just doing that 0 and like just plussing your whole team.
Yeah.
But at 3 mana, even just getting to like recur a spell is like really good.
It is.
You do have to pay the mana on the spell, so...
But, if you want to recur that Electro Dominance...
That's true. That's a good point. So I don't know. I think this card's really sweet, and the elementals are kind of like the least cool part about this card. But even then, like sometimes it'll work. And for this is a really strong 3-mana walker.
I agree. Like it seems real cool. So next is the other Chandra. Do you want to go ahead and take this one since Chandra is your girl?
Yeah. Chandra's my girl. So this is Chandra Awakened Inferno. I'm really excited about this card, by the way. This is 4 red for a 6 loyalty legendary planeswalker Chandra. This spell can't be countered. Oh yeah, take that, Zach. It's got so many lines of text, still can't counter it.
I know, right? Like I don't know what I'm gonna do and try to play it.
All right, +2. Each opponent gains an emblem with. At the beginning of your upkeep, this emblem deals 1 damage to you. Oh my goodness. How cool is that?
Yeah.
And so like
dope.
After you do that, she has 8 loyalty. That's insane. That's so huge. Like, and you just get to keep doing it. Like if you never did anything but the +2, like this card would be sweet. But it's also got -3. Chandra Awakened Inferno deals 3 damage to each non-elemental creature. So there's like a mini Wrath going on here.
Yeah.
And at 6 mana, that's pretty good. I think it's pretty playable in Commander, especially against token strategies.
Yep.
Okay, -X. Chandra Awakened Inferno deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker. If a permanent dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead. Okay, so here's the scoop. 6 mana to deal 6 damage is totally fine.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just need to kill something. It's actually more efficient than casting Fireball or Electro Dominance. So, like, that's really good. Obviously it can't hit players, which is, a little bit of a downside. But usually in Commander, the things you want to control are the other players' creatures and planeswalkers. So, I don't know, man. I think this is really, really cool. What do you think about this?
I think this is really sweet. I like that they've continued on with the text, just the static text, even if the spell can't be countered. I think that's sweet. I love the -X because you don't have to do it for 6, right? You can do it for 5. You keep her in play. Next turn, you +2 her. The -3 is great. Like, I think all around, this is just a really good card.
I mean, I'm just saying, if it only had the +2, I'd probably still play this card.
Yeah, for sure.
Just, I like the idea of just like, you get an emblem, everybody gets an emblem, except me.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. So let's see, what do we got next? It is, let me find it. It's on here. It's on the computer. It is a card. I'm looking for it. I found it.
Did you? No. Nope, I got this one. I'll take it for you. Up next, we've got Chandra's Regulator. This is 1 and a red for a legendary artifact. Whenever you activate a loyalty ability of a Chandra Planeswalker, you may pay 1. If you do, copy that ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. Sweet.
Like that.
1 and tap, discard a mountain card or a red card. Draw a card. I like that too.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty sweet. Like that goes this to an extent reminds me a lot of the card from, was it Tectonic Reformation from Modern Horizons, that just gives gives cards a cycling for a red, right?
Yeah, lands cards, yep.
Yep, and this seems a little more versatile, but like it's great, right? And some of these red decks, like you just end up with dead cards sometimes, right? And being able to get rid of those and get a new one, that's amazing. That's what I want to be doing.
Well, and being able to copy those loyalty abilities, I don't know, man. Like, people might look at this and go, "Oh, this is for standard," but I think I'm gonna make a mono. I mean, I already have like a mostly mono red like Chandra and Jaya deck, but like I think I'm gonna make a different one that's just all red planeswalkers and just a ton of them, like 15 or 20 planeswalkers. And this card's definitely going in there, and because a lot of those planeswalkers are going to be Chandras. And I don't know, I just think it's really, really cool that we're seeing this kind of card, right?
Yeah.
It's like
it's very flavorful.
And it's an iconic like piece of Chandra. It's like the tech that her parents made to help her like control her powers and stuff. I love it, and I actually think it's good.
Yeah, I do too. All I gotta say about this though is next set, I want to see Jace's hoodie.
Yeah, it better be Jace's hoodie.
Jace's hoodie, or I'm gonna be sad. So next up is the Drakuseth. This is not the rapper Drake. It's a dragon. Drakuseth Maul of Flames. 4.
Yeah,
Red.
Draco Seth spits hot fire.
Yeah. Yes. He's more like Dylon. Those are my 3 favorite rappers, if you didn't know. Draco Seth, Maw of Flames, from henceforth known as Dylon, is a legendary creature dragon. So this definitely could be a commander for your secret commander Sarkhan deck.
Yep.
As flying like that. Whenever a Dylon Maw of Flames attacks, it deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage to each of up to 2 other targets.
Whoa.
What? So you declare...
Did you mention this is a 7/7?
Yeah. Oh, this is a 7/7. Like, that's insane. So you play this guy. He's already got flying for an evasion thing. But, if they have any birds to block, don't worry about it. Just deal him some damage, right?
Yeah, and it's an attack trigger. It's not on damage.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it happens before blockers, right? So they can't be like, block, and then you kill it. You're like, no, I'm just going to kill you preemptively before you try to block.
Well, and the cool part here is it's any target. So, like, in a 4-player game, if you attack with this, you'd be like, okay, you take 4, and you take 3. Like, player A, take 4, B and C also take 3. Like, that's a lot of damage output. This is an expensive card. It's 7 mana, but it's 7 mana worth of dragon, for sure.
Oh, for sure. I like this card a lot.
All right, so up next, we've got an interesting one. This is Glint Buccaneer. It's 1 red for a 2/4 Minotaur Pirate with haste. Whenever you discard a card, Glint Buccaneer deals 1 damage to each opponent, and 1 in a red, discard a card, draw a card. Activate this ability only if Glint Buccaneer is attacking. So this is an interesting card.
It is.
You can activate that 1 in a red ability multiple times while it's attacking.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was really cool to include in like a Locust God type deck or any other deck with like wheel type effects. So it's like you're discarding your hand and drawing more, and it's just like all of your opponents are taking damage.
Yeah, and like looting effects, I think go good with this. Faithless looting in particular comes to mind. Like
Cathartic Reunion.
Yeah, like I think this card's pretty sweet.
Even that Caviar of Flame, like you discard your hand and
just get more cards.
And it's the stats are great. It's 3 mana 2/4 haste.
Yeah, like I see no downsides to this guy. So the next one is Marauding Raptor. This is the raptor from the kitchen scene in Jurassic Park. It's now a card.
This raptor can open doors.
Yes. So Marauding Raptor is 1 in a red for creature dinosaur. It's 2/3. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast.
That's crazy on a 2 mana card.
It is. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Marauding Raptor deals 2 damage to it.
Oh, there's the downside.
That's what happens when raptors learn to open kitchen doors. If a dinosaur is dealt damage this way, Marauding Raptor gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So, if you're playing some sort of dinosaur tribal deck, like it could be good. Like, this is a really interesting card. Like, I definitely think it's got some neat stuff going on. I can't think of a deck that I would put it in or a strategy, but like people will find it. And I think, like I said, I just think this is an interesting card. Yeah, 2 mana to reduce all of your creatures is really good. And it shocks them when they come into play, but a lot of your creatures are going to survive that anyway, so it's not much of a downside. And if you're playing dinos, you probably just jam this thing right in there. Well, yeah, and if you play Dylon Maw of the Flames and it takes 1, like, Like,
well, 2, but yeah.
Or
whatever.
2, yeah. I mean, it's a 7/7. It can survive. It's cool.
All right, so up next, we've got a really cool card. It's called Repeated Reverberation. It's 2 red for an instant. When you next cast an instant spell, cast a sorcery spell, or activate a loyalty ability this turn, copy that spell or ability twice. You may choose new targets for the copies. So this is really cool. It's a 4 mana double fork, but it also does loyalty abilities, which is really cool. Yeah, we have not seen something like this.
No.
And like, what I really want to do is like do the big Chandra, and then like plus her to have 8 loyalty, and then get to my next turn and be like plus her again, copy it twice. Like everybody's got 4 emblems, and they're going down quickly. Like, so that mono red Super Friends deck is getting a lot of tools from this set.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
It really is. Perhaps too many.
All right, so that's going to move us on into our green cards. ZT, you want to take that first one?
Oh, yeah. Caviar of Thorns.
I don't want to eat caviar with thorns in it. That doesn't sound appealing.
Yeah, it doesn't really to me either. But, I don't know. So, Caviar of Thorns is 2 green for a creature elemental knight. It's a 5/6 with reach. Gosh, reach. Lame. When Cavalier of Thorns enters the battlefield, reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Okay, I'm in. Put a land card from anywhere from among them into the battlefield, and the rest into your graveyard. Okay, get into my dredge deck. When Caviar of Thorns dies, you may exile it. If you do, put another target card from your graveyard on top of your library. Yeah, that seems pretty dope. I mean, it's 5 for a 5/6. That in and of itself is good. It's got reach. Mm-hmm. I mean, Bird Tribal doesn't like this card, but man, I really like it.
It ramps you, and then it recurs something when it dies. I don't know. I think it's okay. I mean, honestly, I don't feel like this is going to see a ton of play in Commander, but we're going to talk about all the Cavaliers, so get the thorny one in there too. I think.
Yeah.
All right. So up next, we've got this is a doozy of a card. This is ElvisReclaimer. It's a single green mana for a 1/2 elf warrior. ElvisReclaimer gets +2/+2 as long as there are 3 or more land cards in your graveyard.
Wow.
Awesome. Easy to do. 2 and tap, sacrifice a land, search your library card for a land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library.
Wow, so it's like basically crop rotation on a dude.
Yeah. And in a crazy way.
Yeah.
Because it gets any land.
Yeah.
It gets any land. I love this card.
Yes. Dark Depths, get into play.
Yes.
Thespian Sage, get into play. Erismectes, get into play. Like, this is lit.
Yeah, I mean, like, this card is really, really good for a single green mana. I feel like this is going to become kind of a staple of any decks that just want to play, like, tons of fun, cool utility lands. I think this card's awesome. And, it could end up being like a 1 mana 3/4 pretty easily.
Yeah.
But you're just going to tap it anyway and just search out lands every time.
And, like, I think I will go as far to say that this card is #lit dope hella fam.
Oh, lit dope hella fam. All right. Okay, so ZT, you got the next one. This one's a legendary creature that could be your commander.
I mean, any legendary creature can be my commander. So this is Gargovicious Watcher. 3 green. So that's 6 total. Legendary creature Hydra. I do like Hydras. It's an 8/7. Vigilance. I like that. Hydra spells you cast cost 4 less to cast. Whenever a creature you control becomes a target of a spell, Gargovicious Watcher fights up to 1 target creature you don't control.
Isn't this card crazy?
That's ridiculous because it's like, okay, I am declaring my attacks and, I pump something, right? Oh, guess what? Gargos gets in a fight.
Yeah, and it's any creature you control.
Yeah, like it's just so good.
And all of your Hydras are 4 more. Like, they just get 4 tacked onto the X. Like the turn after you play this, you can play 2 Hydras.
Yeah.
And they both get that +4. I don't know. I mean, I think this card's like less than being like great in Commander. I think it's like really fun.
Yeah.
And definitely like if you've been wanting to build that mono green Hydra deck, I think this is the Commander for you.
Are you gonna build that deck?
Probably not. I've not really ever been like. I mean, like a Hydra's okay.
Yeah.
Like a Hydra Dece,
Yeah.
But I just think it's cool. I just think it's a cool card.
What's this bottom Hydra head doing?
Getting a snack, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe some
Gargos, how about a snack?
Maybe some caviar.
Oh, hopefully the Caviar of Thorns.
Right? Can Hydra swim? I feel like they can.
Probably. Right, so up next we've got Nightpack Ambusher. This is 2 green for a 4/4 with flash.
Oh yeah.
So we had to talk about it. Other wolves and werewolves you control get +1/+1.
I'm into wolves.
So that's a wolf anthem. At the beginning of your end step, if you didn't cast a spell this turn, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token, which will be a 3/3 because the ambusher is a +1/+1. I just love that it's a 4/4 with flash. It can eat something.
Yeah.
I think that your wolves and your werewolf decks are going to want to run this tribal style.
Yep.
You're probably not going to run this in a non-wolf deck.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just thought it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And while we're talking about this card, I'd like to make an announcement. At Commander Social, we've decided to start a pro Magic team, and we are going to be the Nightpack Ambushers. So if you are a pro looking to be on a team with these 2 guys who are much more handsome than good at Magic, get on our team. the night pack ambushers. So what's our next card?
This one's pretty sweet. Is this yours? This is yours, right?
Yeah. Is it Shared Summons?
Yep.
Shared Summons is 3 and 3 green for an instant. Search your library for up to 2 creature cards with different names, reveal them, and put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. Ryan, let me ask you a question. Unless we're talking about, was it constant petitioners or whatever, can you run more than one creature?
That's right. In Commander, we are a singleton format. So this card just means tutor up 2 creatures.
Right. And you know who I'm going after? Either Gargos the Vicious Watcher or
Caviar of Thorns.
Yep. or Night Pack Ambusher, because I'm going to buy a bunch of these in foil.
No, I think Shared Summons is crazy. There's a lot of combos that involve like 2 creatures that like synergize really well together. Like, Machias and Hallowed and Triskelion, right? And typically you would use something like the Entwined Tooth and Nail, right? Got there.
Yeah.
You'd use Entwined Tooth and Nail to like put them onto the battlefield. This is a lesser version of it, but Entwined Tooth and Nail costs 9. So you could actually potentially like combo off sooner if you cast this on turn like 4 or 5, go get the 2 and like don't have any disruption or have some other ramp. I don't know. I think it's really good. Anytime you're getting to tutor up 2 cards, like you can do some crazy stuff with that.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely said some things, and like I think they have some meaning. But I was thinking that you could get, some utility creatures like Eternal Witness, not overrated, EDH Rightcast, or Rex Sage. Or
actually, those 2 would be sweet, and the Eternal Witness could get this back to go get 2 more creatures.
Or Sakura Tribe Elder. Like, there's a bunch of cool things.
Absolutely.
So, what's the next card?
All right, up next, we've got another Hydra, and this Hydra is hungry. It's Voracious Hydra. It's X green for a 0/1 with Trample. Voracious Hydra enters the battlefield with X+1/+1 counters on it. When Voracious Hydra enters the battlefield, choose 1. Double the number of +1/+1 counters on Voracious Hydra, or Voracious Hydra fights target creature you don't control.
I mean, that's win-win. Also,
right?
this picture, this is what I look like when I get hangry.
I need a Snickers bar.
Yeah, right? My secret is I'm always hangry.
You wouldn't like him when he's hangry. But I mean, like, okay, let's say you pump 4 into this, right? Okay, so you choose double the number of counters. It's an 8/9 trample for 6 mana.
Seems good.
And if you've got the other guy out, you put +4 on top of that, and then you get to double those. It's really +8. Like, crazy stuff are happening with Hydras in this set.
Yeah, and what's that green card from the Mythic from Modern Horizons that does some stuff with X, like doubles it or whatever?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Unbound Flourishing.
Yeah, that could be pretty hello lit dope fam too.
Hydra Tribal heading your way soon at a commander table.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think the Voracious Hydra is pretty decent. So what do we got next? We got the first one here.
The first one is Cavalier Zenith Seeker. Cavalier Zenith Seeker is a red, a white, and a black. I believe this is called... Actually, I don't know. What's this called?
Mardu.
Yes. Kayla Zenith Seeker.
It's Kalia of the Vast fame.
Sure. It's a legendary creature, human cleric. It's a 3/3, flying and vigilance. I like that. It's a 3/3, flying vigilance. That in and of itself is pretty good. The mana to cast this on turn 3 is going to be real hard, but hey, if you run green mana bases like us, you get there.
Yep.
So when Kalia Zenith Seeker enters the battlefield, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal an angel card, bird, a demon card, bird, kind of a bird, yeah, an angry bird, and or a dragon, a really angry bird card from among them, and put them into your hand. Put the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. Yeah, I like that. I mean, yeah, like in a deck like that, I feel like you're going to that's going to be a creature-based strategy, right? Probably some sort of human sort of thing. I don't know. But surely in the top 6 cards, you'll have a creature.
Well, the cool part here is you may reveal an angel card, a demon card, and or a dragon card. So if your top 6 has one of each, you get to draw 3.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty good. I mean, this is probably not going to replace Kalia the Vast as a commander, but it's a pretty nice include in that deck for, like, getting fuel for Kalia. Yeah. And if you wanted to power down your Kalia the Vast deck because it was, like, getting a little bit too much hate, you could run this instead, put Kalia the Vast in the 99, and this card's going to function pretty well. I don't know. And it's a 3-mana, 3/3 Vigilance flyer. It's pretty good.
I mean, it's a pretty dope bird.
All right. So up next, we've got Kethis, the Hidden Hand. This is Abzan. It's white, black, green for a 3/4 legendary creature Elf Advisor. Legendary spells you cast cost 1 less to cast.
That's
awesome. Exile 2 legendary cards from your graveyard. Until end of turn, each legendary card in your graveyard gains. You may play this card from your graveyard. There's a lot going on with this card.
There is.
And it's all good.
Yeah.
Like, it's got a self-mill thing going on, and you could just, like, play legendary tribal, right?
Yeah.
And there's, like, lots of white-black cards that, like, interact with very well with legendaries. Like, there's one of them that gives all the legendaries +2/+2 and stuff. And just the fact that, like, all of your legendaries cost 1 less to cast is pretty sweet. But getting to reuse them, like, I don't know, you could probably make this deck mostly legendary permanents, right?
Yeah.
Like legendary lands even.
I mean, honestly, I wish this guy had been on the OG Weatherlight crew.
Right? Probably, like, just sneak it on board the Weatherlight.
Yeah.
And just be like, oh, a little
Bro, Kelvis has been here the whole time.
yeah, like a little revisionist history, right?
I mean, I'm all about that. So up next, we've got Kylar Wind Fury.
It looks like Kaikar.
Yeah, whatever. It's 1 blue, green, white.
Nope.
Oh my goodness. It's 1 blue, red, white.
You got some Jeskai Commander.
I know some of my friends on Twitter are all about that Jeskai. So it's a legendary creature, Bird Wizard.
I think this may be the de facto bird tribal commander.
I think so too, right? So it's got flying. Oh, it's a 3/3 first off. So 4 for a 3/3. Okay. Flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. What? Okay, fine. Sacrifice a spirit, add a red mana. I mean, I like this card. This is pretty sweet.
We have been in need of some new Jeskai commanders. The ones we have, like, could use a little work, and I think this is up there, right? It's 4 mana, it's fine, and it's really going to kind of have you casting a lot of non-creature spells, which I like to do.
Same.
And, you know, you could do bird tribal with this. You absolutely could.
I mean, I'm definitely going to dip into the pool of birds to make that deck.
All right, so up next, we've got a Teamer commander. This is Omnath, Locus of the Royal. 1 green, blue, red for a 3/3 legendary creature elemental. When Omnath, Locus of the Royal, enters the battlefield, it deals damage to any target equal to the number of elementals you control. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target elemental you control. If you control 8 or more lands, draw a card. Okay, so this is pretty cool as far as Teamer commanders go. It's really trying to get you to do the elemental tribal thing, which I think could be pretty fun.
Yeah.
You know, you could do a lot with this, and there's lots of cards that make elemental tokens. You know, we saw that Chandra earlier that makes them. Also, it's just a pretty low casting cost Teamer commander that might be really fun.
Doesn't the one Pyromancer card, whenever you play a spell, doesn't that make elementals?
Oh, young Peasy?
Yeah.
I think maybe, yeah. I think you might be right.
Word.
That does sound good in here. Absolutely.
So I'm going to let you finish, but before that, I'm going to talk about probably the commander card that I'm the most excited about in this thing is Yaruk the Desecrated. It's a... What is this?
Sultai.
Sultai. 2 black, green, blue. Dope. Like it. Legendary creature, elemental horror. I like that. Death Touch and Lifelink. Like that. Oh, this is a 3/5, by the way. So, you know, for 5, you go 3/5 with Death Touch and Lifelink. Pretty good. If a permanent enters the battlefield and causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Like, it's like Panharmonicon on a creature.
Yeah, a Panharmonica walking.
Yeah. And, like, honestly, so the way that my Muldrotha deck is built, it has a lot of enters the battlefield creatures, right? Because, I want to recur them. But Muldrotha is what I would like to call a known quantity, right?
Or a target painter?
Yeah. I mean, not that Yarok isn't going to be one as well, but I'm definitely thinking about revamping that deck and making this the commander. It seems good. What do you think?
I like it. I think Panharmonicon's like super good in Commander, and I think Yarok has the ability to be that good too. I think you probably want this as a commander, maybe not necessarily in the 99. I just want to play this with Muldrifter and Reclamation Sage and Eternal Witness and Grey Merchant of Asphodel.
Oh gosh, Gary, man.
I think this card's good. I think it's a little more fragile than Panharmonicon, but I think that
it's got Death Touch and Lifelink, bro.
It does, and I think this would make a really fun good stuff commander for sure.
And the art on it is sweet. If they make a playmat of this art, I am going to get it. I'm definitely going. And I saw somewhere this creature was on some other card.
I have no idea what is happening in this picture. It looks like some limbs and arms. And there's a green thing, and there's some webs.
That's the best part.
I got nothing going on here.
It's random tribal in that picture. I mean, I'm definitely going to contact the mothership, our local game store, and see if they can get me one of these playmats. If such a thing happens.
Up next, we've got Rian, Angel of Rebirth, and this is the Buy a Box promo. This is 2 red, green, white for a legendary creature angel 5/4 with flying. Other multicolored creatures you control get +1/+0.
Seems good.
Whenever another multicolored creature you control dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step.
Wow.
That is pretty solid.
It is.
We got ourselves a Naya Angel, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really been tempted to make a Naya deck before, but this one kind of comes close. Especially if you can protect this some way, with a Yavimaya Hollow or something, or Lightning Greaves. Mm-hmm. And just play a bunch of really awesome multicolored creatures.
Yeah, this is another card that's I wish Ryan was on the Weatherlight crew.
Is it Ryan?
It is now.
All right. Okay, so Zach, why don't you take the first artifact? We are getting into the home stretch here.
Yep.
We appreciate you listening. Hopefully you're enjoying this set review. Please, let us know on Twitter or in the comments of this video if you are enjoying it.
For sure. And if you're not, keep it to yourself. No, I'm just kidding.
If they're not, they probably aren't listening anymore.
Yeah, it's true. They've been oh man, this is ridiculous. So the next thing is Bag of Holding. It's an artifact for 1. Whenever you discard a card, exile that card from your graveyard. You can pay 2, tap, draw a card, then discard a card. You can pay 4, sacrifice Bag of Holding, return all cards exiled with Bag of Holding to their owner's hand. I think this is cool for multiple reasons. I was talking to Ryan before the show, and it's this is a direct reference to a Dungeons and Dragons thing, right?
Absolutely. It's super cool.
Yeah. So I love that crossover. And this thing seems pretty sweet. I mean, you basically you use it to discard cards you definitely want to save for later into exile where nothing can get to them, as long as you can protect your Bag of Holding, and then you get ready to do your thing. You pay 4, you sack it, and then suddenly all the cards are in your hand.
How cool does this go with Wheel of Fortune?
Oh my goodness.
Right? Locust God decks want this card in a bad way. Windfall,
Yeah.
I just think this card's sweet. And even if you're just activating it, 2 tap, draw a card, discard a card is a totally fine rate. And it's on an artifact, so it's kind of hard to kill.
Yeah.
I think this card is so cool, and I love the flavor of it so much.
Yeah.
I just this is the card of Ryan's going to buy a foil playset of these,
right?
Because he's going to just put them in random decks.
And I love the flavor text. There's no prepared over prepared, and I think that fits both of us to a T.
Totally.
Kinda. So let's see what do we got next.
All right, up next we've got a really cool commander. This is Golos, Tireless Pilgrim. It's 5 mana for a 3/5 legendary artifact creature scout. When Golos, Tireless Pilgrim, enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a land card, put that card onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library. For 2, white, blue, black, red, green.
Or Wooburg.
Indeed. 2 Berg. Exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn without paying their mana costs.
So what I'm seeing is you pay 7 and you get to play 3 cards for free.
That's exactly right. And as long as only one of them's land.
Yeah, exactly.
You can get all 3 of them. Here's the thing. that first ability says for a land card, right? It could be any land card. It could be Cabal Coffers. It could be whatever you want. And I'm telling you, this is like one more mana than Solemn Simulacrum, right? And it goes and gets any land.
So good.
And it's a 3/5. And it can be your commander in a 5-color deck. Like, I think this card's really cool.
I do too. It's super sweet. And I like that we've been seeing cards in this set that say, go find a land, not go find a basic land or go find something. You know,
I love me some utility lands.
Yeah.
I do.
I do too.
Like, this can go get Alchemist Refuge. Like, no doubt. And the cool thing is, there's like that one, it's like you spend like 5 and tap it and it adds Woober to your mana pool. It's from like recent, like it's either Amonkhet. I think it's Amonkhet, the Amonkhet block.
Is it Prismatic something or another? I'm
Yes.
just saying that because, you know, Prism 5 colors.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, so you go get that with this, and then as long as you've got some lands,
Yeah.
it could be like in a mono green deck, and you just have that one land in there, and this could be your commander. Like, weird things can happen with this card.
I think having this guy's your commander and like Joda and the 99 could be kind of interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of ways to build this deck,
Yeah.
and I'm really excited to see what you out there in audience land come up
Yeah,
with.
let us know.
All right, so what's next? Oh, yeah. This one's definitely a ZT special.
Mystic Forge. I like it already. I like things that are mystic, and I like to forge things. It's 4 mana for an artifact. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. Spoiler alert, I do that anyway. You may cast the top card of your library if it's an artifact card or a colorless non-land card. Tap, pay 1 life, exile the top card of your library. I like it. I do. What is the pre-order? True 29? Yeah. Place it, get in my cart.
I mean, this card is sweet, right?
It is.
It's like Future Sight, but it can go in any deck.
Yep.
And it synergizes with artifacts, which I know you love. And it can even cast like big Eldrazi's too, just because. And when you hit that bump and you've got the land on top that you don't want, tap it and
Get it out.
pay 1 life, exile it, and you can still cast, right? Like,
Yeah.
tapping, paying 1 life is totally separate from the other abilities. I don't know. I just think it's really sweet.
I agree. So next up, we got lands. Is that where we're at?
Indeed, we are in the home stretch here. So first up, we've got Cryptic Caves. This is a land. You can tap it to add a colorless to your mana pool, or 1 tap, sacrifice Cryptic Caves, draw a card. Activate this ability only if you control 5 or more lands. I think it's good. It's an uncommon.
Yeah.
It just taps for colorless, right? So there's a certain number of these you can put in any deck, and if you're like in a mono white deck or like a mono red or a white red, and Boros, that's what we call that.
Boros.
This is like card draw on a land, and you're probably not wanting to sacrifice this to draw a card unless you've got 5 or more lands, right? Like, if you've got 3 lands, you probably don't want to sacrifice this to draw a card, at least not in Commander.
Right.
So I think the biggest downside is that it only taps for colors, but it doesn't come into play tapped.
Yeah.
I could see a lot of decks wanting to run this.
Yeah, I think this card is great. I was telling Ryan before the show, I like this better than the cycle of lands from Horizons, right? Because those always deal you damage, right? They don't give you the colorless, and then you sack it to, draw a card, right? I think this is better. Yeah, you gotta wait to get 5 more lands, but by that time, that's when you're really gonna need it, because that's probably when your grip's gonna start to get low.
Yeah, you're in desperation mode, and you're like, all right, sacrifice the Cryptic.
Yep.
Okay, so what do we got next?
Field of the Dead. It's a land. Field of the Dead enters the battlefield tapped. Tap it, add a colorless mana. Whenever Field of the Dead or another land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands with different names, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. That's pretty sweet. 7 or more lands, 7 or more, like, I don't know. Like, I'm thinking about how, and like, it'd probably have to be like probably a 3-color deck to get there easy. You could do it in a 2-color deck. It'd be a little bit harder, but I still think this is sweet, right? Like, for basically, it's like landfall, create 2/2.
Yeah, right. Okay, so this card is interesting. The fact that it comes to play tapped is a bit of a bummer, but it's so interesting, and it can go in any kind of deck. But the card I was thinking of with this was Scapeshift.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you go fetch this and some other lands, and then it's going to trigger off of all those, and you're going to create like a whole bunch of 2/2s. Right? Like, I think there's like some combo potential here, and I think that some green decks maybe just run this anyway.
I was thinking Scape Shift only lets you get 5.
I think you can sacrifice any number of lands. But let's find out. While you're looking at that, I'll talk a little bit more about this card. I think the art on it is really sweet.
Oh yeah, I like it.
There's like these little
number of lands. My bad.
Yeah, there's like all these like little skeletons like crawling out that you don't notice like at first, and there's like more than one of them. There's like one there, and like,
I see. You know where I've seen something like this before?
Where's that?
The Lion King.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle,
this ain't
the
no
dead
jungle.
Raise tonight. brains. I don't know. Yeah, feeling that. I don't know. It's interesting. I think it's a niche card, but I think there's definitely some application here, and
sure.
we should talk about it. So, you got the last one here, right?
Sure. This one I think is super sweet. It's Lotus Field. It makes me think of Lotus Veil. I love that card. It's a land. It has hexproof, so
don't often see hexproof on a land, but there's a reason for it.
Yeah. Your wastelands, your
strip mines,
get out.
Lotus quarters, nah, son.
Nah. Lotus Field enters the battlefield tapped. Okay. When Lotus Field enters the battlefield, sacrifice 2 lands. I don't know if I love that. But then I read tap, add 3 mana if you need 1 color. Oh wait, that's ramp. I like it. Like, I don't love that it comes in tapped. But still, I'd play this.
So to me, here's the thing: hexproof is pretty good.
Yeah,
on a land like that,
it's real good.
That makes the risk here slightly less.
Yep.
Coming to play tapped is kind of a bummer, but the lands you can sacrifice to it don't have to be untapped. So
yeah, that's true.
Really, you're only skipping your land draw for 1 turn, and it's not super ramp, right? Because like if you had just laid a land and not sacrificed 2 more, you'd still have 3. But it's super fixing.
Yeah.
And if you have any way to untap lands, like this card goes crazy. And I don't know, like it lets you like play like 5 color Caviar deck, right? Like you just play all the Cavaliers off of this one land.
All the Caviars, just get them in there. So that I believe does it for our core 2020 Commander review. Did you have any secret cards you wanted to mention?
No, should I?
I mean, I don't know. Do you?
Do I?
Maybe. Is it? Anyway.
No, I don't.
It's because Ryan often sneaks extra cards into his top 8 list.
Oh yeah, exactly. But we have so many cards to talk about today. Like this is fine. All right. So I will say this. I think that the core 2020 set looks super fun. I think there's a lot of cards in here for Commander. We just talked about all the ones that we could think of. If there's a card out there that you thought we should have talked about, hit us up on Twitter and we'll tell you what we think about it there. Know. Yeah, and if there's cards we talked about that you're like, nah, these are terrible, like this is not going to be playable in Commander, let us know that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think this set looks really sweet for Commander.
Agreed. So yeah, that brings us to the end of tonight's programming. So thank you for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and then ding the bell. I don't know how this is dinging a bell, but I did it anyway. So
nice.
If you wanna communicate with us together, you can hit us up at Commander Social on Twitter. Individually, I'm at Z4CK.
And individually, well, actually, you're at Z4CK38.
Oh man, I keep doing that. I don't know why.
And individually on Twitter, I'm at Green Geek.
So yep, this is Ryan and Zack, and until next time,
keep it social.